Good evening, I'm Judge Shayed, and you are?
Veronica Hernandez.
It's Hernandez. It looks like I've got a little pile of things here for you.
Okay.
A warrant at Pima County Superior Court. Nope, wrong file. That was in the wrong file, sorry.
Okay.
I have a warrant out of South Tucson City Court charging you with theft and failing to appear or failing to comply. I don't have an actual copy of that warrant, although let me see if that got into the wrong file. I was just checking because one of Moreno's warrants was in her file. I also have several warrants out of Tucson City Court. Seem to have a problem appearing in court.
Okay.
What do we do about that?
Change it,
What do you mean change it?
like appear. I didn't know how to appear in court.
All right, on the South Tucson matter, your next court date is going to be January the 7th at 10 o'clock in the morning in the South Tucson City Court. Do you understand that you need to appear in court?
Yes, Your Honor.
As repeated failures to appear, you're going to wind up not getting released. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I mean, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Then I have 3 files out of Tucson City Court. I have current charges for criminal trespass at Circle K. I have charges from August the 10th of last year for possession of prescription-only drug, possession of paraphernalia, and failing to appear at least twice.
I didn't know that.
Once after pretrial services released you from custody. Third
I didn't
file,
know.
November the 13th of last year for remaining in the park after hours. I'm going to give you another chance on these as well. You need to be in Tucson City Court on January the 15th at 9 a.m.
Okay. Awesome.
Between now and then, you're not going to any Circle K's or to the Santa Rita Park. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You need to obtain a substance abuse assessment and begin any recommended treatment. Now,
Okay.
as you exit the jail, there is a trailer, a mobile structure. I think it's a blue line that directs you to it. It's called the Transition Center. I'd suggest you go there. They can help you with getting into treatment, with housing, with other needs.
Okay,
All right, but be sure you make these court dates.
I will.
All right, thank you.
Will I be released tonight?
You will be.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Oh, oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yay.
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 Only one file on this paper. And there's a stack of files. And only one of them is on the paper. They consolidated it. Oh, okay. Does he have another court date? Okay, you say so. And you wrote through it. Well, vacated. Well, because I had to continue this because he didn't want to appear. Okay. I continued the initial, the IA, yeah. And it's only the one file that needs to be seen, that the rest of the message is right. Gotcha. Okay. Good evening, I'm Judge Shayad, and you are,
Alice, TV gang. Alice, TV gang.
Ms. Begay. I have several files here for you. I have charges here that go back to March the 28th of this year for criminal trespass at QT out on East Golf Links. And failing to appear in court in May. And then you were in custody last month and given a court date of December the 3rd and didn't appear for that court date. We also have charges from April the 10th for criminal trespass at that same QT. And failing to appear in court. And charges from September 30th of last year for shoplifting at 1225 West Irvington, along with failures to appear. Do you understand if you've got a court date, you need to appear in court? I'm not getting any sound, Jail.
You're on mute. She's asking you a question. Begay.
I remain quiet. I'm not gonna say anything. I was told outside to stay quiet and let you talk. Are we getting released or not? That's all we need to hear. So
Well-
I'm staying quiet.
Well, I need to hear from you
So this is all.
if you're in compliance
to me.
and not go back to those places.
I've never even heard of these charges ever. Ever. I never heard of them. They never brought this to my attention. Not even my lawyers. So
Well,
I remain silent, I remain quiet. I'm just waiting for you to say if I'm released or not.
That you need to appear in court.
Yes,
And will you appear in court if I give you a court date?
if it's valid, correct, I'm not gonna appear. I had false charges on me before. I fought in case. And it's
Fine.
valid,
If the
correct.
charges are false, you still need to appear in court to get that straightened out. Because if you don't appear, it just becomes another warrant.
Okay. Okay, I understand.
If I release you tonight, are you going to show up in court in Tucson City Court on January the 8th at 2:00 in the afternoon?
Yes,
All right, you don't go back to that QT and you don't go back to 1225 West Irvington. Do you understand that?
You understand?
yes,
Right? Thank you, Ms. Begay. And did you hear me explain to Ms. Hernandez about the transition center? If you need any services,
yes,
so you might want to consider that. Additionally, looking at the file, if there was some determination that you might be eligible for community court at city court. You might want to stop by city court on a Friday between 1:30 and 3 and go up to the 6th floor to talk to them in community court. They have lots of services and things available there. Okay, thank you.
okay.
Good evening, I'm Judge Hayden. You, sir, are,
Zachary Taylor.
did council wish to waive reading?
Yes, Judge.
And did either council wish to be heard further on conditions of release?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge. We're asking that Mr. Taylor's released to pretrial services. He's a lifelong resident of Tucson. He has no criminal history. And if he were released, he'd go to his brother Cameron's house.
That wasn't very nice. And is your brother Cameron's house the residence on 22nd Street?
Yep.
I'm gonna give you a chance on this matter under some very strict conditions. Okay?
Okay.
You need to immediately, like Monday, make arrangements for behavioral health and substance abuse assessments and comply with any recommended treatment. Now, as you're exiting the jail, you'll see an area called the Transition Center. They can help direct you to where you can get those things taken care of. Okay? You understand?
Yes.
You're to possess, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. If you have any firearms, they need to be surrendered to the police department. You have no contact with Ms. Swindles. Do you understand that?
Yep.
You're not to go near her residence or workplace. And there's to be no firearms in your residence or your vehicles. Do you understand that?
Yep.
You need to comply with pretrial services, reporting to them, following through. Do you understand that?
Yep.
Other than in the course of assessments and treatment, I'd suggest you not discuss this matter with anyone except your attorney.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
And Judge, which office is appointed?
PD was my recollection, but let me look at it again.
And is the preliminary hearing January 4th?
Third.
3rd.
And yes, it was the PDs. All right, thank you.
Right, so
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Eric Mrada?
Mr. Almada. Interim complaint charging you with shoplifting.
Yes, ma'am.
We will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Nothing further, Your Honor, from the state.
no, Judge.
All right, you're going to be released to the third-party custody of pretrial services. You need to report to them, participate in monitoring and treatment under their supervision. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You don't go to any Walmart stores. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd suggest you not discuss the matter with anyone except your attorney. And your next court date is January the 3rd at 1:30 in the afternoon in the Pima County Justice Court for preliminary hearing. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You can go back and sleep.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are
Moreno.
Ms. Moreno. I have a few things here for you. I have a warrant out of Pima County Superior Court charging you with shoplifting alleged to have occurred on December the 23rd of last year. along with possession of paraphernalia. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, set an arraignment date for December the 20th at 1:30 in the afternoon, and did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions? Understanding that there is a federal detainer.
Nothing to add from the state, Your Honor.
Judge, we're asking for a $500 bond for time credit. She does have the federal detainer, but these are nonviolent charges.
Bond will be $1,000. You're not to return to the incident location. You're not to possess any alcohol or illegal drugs, any firearms or weapons. If you post the bond, you'll be under the supervision of pretrial services. You're not to return to the incident location. And again, your arraignment date is December the 20th at 1:30. And I have another warrant. Possession of paraphernalia. Also on December the 24th of last year. Or actually a day after your other matter. And failing to appear in court. I'll reduce the bond on this to $200. Court date will be December the 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning. Richard Glenn is appointed to represent you. And again, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Thank you, Ms. Moreno.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Judge Hayden. Aho,
Judge, I believe this is Miss Hammond's.
I don't think so.
Oh, sorry.
Aho. Gotcha on there.
Oh, my- Can you hear us, Your Honor?
I can hear you, yes. Your video is frozen, but I can hear you. Good evening, I'm Judge Chayad, and will the person in the chair please provide me with a name? Yes, please. Pardon me? Michael Carmelo. Mr. Carmelo, I've got a couple things here. Couple of things for you. I have a warrant out of Maricopa County charging you with possession of narcotics. They will have 24 hours after you're released on your local charges, and we'll talk about that in a moment. To take custody of you, make arrangements to take custody of you in a total of 3 days to take custody of you. I'll reduce the bond from $750 to $500. You post the bond, you'll be in a supervision of pretrial services, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'll set a review hearing for January the 3rd at 9 a.m. if you're still in custody in the Pima County Jail. I also have a warrant out of Pima County Justice Court for shoplifting. We'll appoint Robin Ald to represent you on these charges. I'll leave the bond on this at $250. You're not to return to the incident location, possess any alcohol or illegal drugs. Your next court date on this will be the 18th. That's Wednesday at about 1 o'clock. No, it's no calendar. Yes, that's Wednesday at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Carmelo.
Thank you, Your Honor. For your, in the court. For your consideration. Appreciate it. Good night, everybody.
She may be sitting there, Judge, and the video might be frozen.
All right, good evening. I'm Judge Shayad and you are? Aho, are you there? Nope. They left. Hopefully they'll be back in a minute. There we go. You need to redirect the camera a little bit. It's pointed up at the corner.
Apologize. How's the?
Right now I'm seeing the corner. The ceiling, the skylight.
I apologize. Connection.
All right.
Is that better?
No, camera hasn't moved at all, but we'll deal with it. Good evening. I'm Judge Shayad and you are?
I'm Judy Hammond.
Ms. Hammonds, I have an owner complaint charging with aggravated domestic assault alleged occurred. Aggravated assault, domestic violence, but alleged occurred earlier today. We'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
Your Honor, the state's not necessarily opposed to release if she has somewhere to go. I know she's 80 years old. I don't take pride in holding her in custody if we can avoid it. But given that the incident involved a knife, I know the victim told PTS that he had no injuries, but law enforcement, noted otherwise. So if she has somewhere else to go, I would be okay with release. But if not, she definitely can't go back with her husband in light of the incident.
It's my home. Now,
Miss
All right.
Judge, we're asking for release for Miss Hammonds. As Mr. Goodman said, she is 80 years old and she has no criminal history. She is retired and the victim does not object to release, and the victim does want her to come back to the home. So we are asking for her release to pretrial services.
Anything further, Mr. Goodman?
Your Honor, even though she's 80, this involves the use of a knife. This isn't a standard disorderly conduct noise violation. Whether she's 80 or 20 years old, this is a very serious allegation during a domestic dispute.
During the circumstances and the statement of the defendant, or excuse me, of the victim, and the defendant's assertion of self-defense, I'm going to release the defendant to pretrial services. But there's some things you need to do. No alcohol, illegal drugs. You're not to possess any firearms or weapons. You need to report to pretrial services and comply with their directives. And you need to obtain a behavioral health assessment and begin any recommended treatment. Do you understand that? All right. Your next court date is going to be January the 3rd at 4 o'clock in the afternoon there at the Ajo Justice Court. And you do not leave the state of Arizona between now and then. Do you understand that? All right. Thank you, Ms. Hammond. And that's all I have for tonight.
Ten four. 1736.
746 and 740, the complainant recontacted and advised it looks like the subjects were walking towards the entrance of the complex. They also stated that the male in the green hoodie pulled it back from the complainant when he saw them. Believes that the suspect may stop a knife in hand.
10-4, I have a 40 and I'll take a 30 unit.
Comes the 3rd unit 45 South Mission.
For TMZ.
This is RJ52 Road installation.
Clear in the VA. Returning. Switching.
1937.
Dispatch for a minute. 851. 10-4, thank you. It's Oregon.
1937.
1937.
Paramedic 231, sick person 7325 South Bolingbroke Avenue. Respond.